Yo, what up? What up?
What up,
Questions
friends?
from the fans. So, first mailbag question comes from Crack Streams, who hails from Parts Unknown. Love that name. Hailing back to the little wrestling right there, Parts Unknown. Turki Alashikh has vowed to lower pay-per-view prices down to around $15 or $20. Currently, pay-per-view prices can range anywhere from $50 to $75 to $100 for mega fights. What are your thoughts on Turkey vowing to lower pay-per-view prices? Do you think he can get this done? And what will be the ultimate impact? Shout out. Thank you for the question.
Turki Alashikh is shaking the game up. Okay, he is going to change boxing, and he has the money to do that. I love it because breaking news: Shakur Stevenson is going to have emergency hand surgery, so he's not going to be fighting on the card with Arthur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed.
Damn.
Which I'm pissed off because I as long as it's not them two, but I'm pissed off because one, it was a chance for him to kind of get shown in the world stage on pay-per-view, overseas, get a bigger fan base. He's gonna fight somebody he could have got up out of there pretty soon and put on the show. But boxing needs to be more open for everybody. Okay, PBC's finally put on a decent card, even though they have. You got Rolly Romero on the undercard on Saturday, but where you got Stevie Fulton on the prelims, which is a crime that Stevie Fulton's not on the main card. And people are paying pay-per-view prices for fights that should be on Boxing After Dark if you're old school HBO fan, or something that should be on an HBO fight, or a fight that should be on Fox, or Spike TV back in the day. Like, it should be free, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Boxing should be more accessible to people, kind of like how UFC is, where they have these fight nights for free on ESPN. What people are tired of paying $50, $60, $70 for non-title fights and fights that aren't that great. And these fight cards, when's the last time we seen a good boxing fight card? That was back in the HBO days when the whole card would be good. Now you got the main fighter, and then it's like, or you got to go to the zone and find some good cards on there, so for upcoming fighters. But that's the issue with boxing. And with Turki Alashikh making it $15-$20, that's going to stop the person who will want to stream that for free. I'm like, oh, it was $15. Okay, I'll buy that. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to hurt the wallet. That's kind of his goal is to try to alleviate people from illegally streaming everything. So he's making it cheaper. And I agree with him. I wholeheartly agree with him. These should be cheaper fight cards. This fight card for PBC is like $90 on Saturday. And do you really want to pay $90? I think the last Tank fight was like 70. So I mean, hell, UFC is just expensive, but at least they have a lot of fights that are good on the card. You some of these fights, it's like, okay, one good fight and that's it, a bunch of prospects. So I'm all for it. I think it's gonna put the pressure on the other promoters to kind of lower their money when it comes to putting on fights. And whatever you see that Riyadh season, that's Turki Alashikh. You know what I'm saying? He put the Riyadh season out there. He's promoted the UFC card. But I'm like, damn, brother, if they're boxing $10, $15, why UFC still $74? Go ahead and talk to Dana White about that, Turkey. Come on now. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and this is definitely going to have an effect on UFC, and it already has. I mean, technically, with the event at the Sphere, Turki Alashikh is the one that has the lucrative Riyadh season sponsorship, and helped make it possible for Dana White and the UFC to even hold the fight at the Sphere, which White has said is going to top $20 million just to hold that one event. Which brings us to our next mailbag question from Dirty Roller out in Reno, Nevada. Shout out. Thank you for tuning in. UFC is said to be spending over $20 million. Thank you. That's what I just said. In this event at the Sphere, and is said to be losing money in this event. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on them trying to compete? What are your thoughts on them being involved with anything boxing related in Vegas?
Well, you got to understand what they're trying to do. Only reason why they're pushing this card is because Turki Alashikh is trying to box Canelo out. Whatever Canelo's putting on the card, he's going to put on the card with someone else to kind of counteract that.
So fucking petty.
Hey, I love it because he wants Bud versus Canelo.
Yep.
And Canelo really doesn't have a great relationship with Turki Alashikh, saying, "Oh, I want this." Kind of like Gervonta Davis asked for 2 Ferraris or whatever, because he wants to put on good fights. Okay, he wants to bring balance back into boxing to where my era of boxing was the best fighters fought the best. There was no excuses. There was no whatever. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to fight each other. Nowadays, it's not like that. So he wants to bring it back to the old days where the best fight the best. So if you're gonna sell lemonade on your block, I'm gonna sell lemonade across the street on my block. If you're gonna sell turnips on your block, I'm gonna sell turnips on my block. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what he's gonna do to Canelo, and try to go him to fight in Terrence Crawford. And that falls back to my master plan, which I said prior. What up, Skywalker? What up, Tim? What I'll say back to my master plan was if Crawford fights Fundora, becomes unified champion at 154, okay, he can move up, fight Danny Garcia at 160, okay, that'd be his next step up. Then he could turn around and fight Canelo at 168. That's my master plan. That's why I want Garcia to win, because Garcia's been avoiding that work for years. He tried to duck him at 147. That's another story. So that's my master plan for that's why it's coming full circle, why I had a master plan for Garcia to win that fight. But anyways, Turki Alashikh, he's trying to basically box Canelo out. Okay, you got to fight this date. We're gonna do one over here on this time. I might take a hit, but 20 million, that's pocket change to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like me going to a dollar store, not spending no money. You know what I'm saying? I'm dusty, so it's whatever. But Turki Alashikh don't care. So that's why they're putting on this card to kind of go against Canelo's fight card. And it's petty, but I like it. I'm a big fan of pettiness as long as you're using your petty powers in the right way. If you're just being petty, just be petty. No, don't do that. It's a dick move. If you're petty for a reasoning, if someone provokes you to be petty, then do it. Bam.
It's definitely petty as hell, because he knows that since Canelo is rebuffing him and his offers for the Bud fight, that he's gonna be petty and follow him around and try to take as much money away as possible, from him, even if it means partnering with an enemy type of promotion, which I guess maybe not enemies, but definitely different industries, if nothing. At Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, follow on IG. So right now, wherever you're at, because I know all the time we're on these videos and we say, hey, like the stream, and you're like, okay, and then you don't do it and you don't subscribe. If you're on Instagram, like and follow right now. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe right now. One more question to go before we get out of here. This comes from No Limit Silk. Great name. I used to love Silk the Shocker, even though he was the most horrible rapper ever. But I still loved him. Worse. It was top 5 worst, but I still loved it. And I bought the CD with the white CD that looked like the credit card.
Hey, shout out to him, man. He pulled Maya. He pulled Maya. Shout out to him. Silk the Shocker. He'll always be a goat for that.
That is tremendous. Maya I haven't seen her in a while, but she was a very beautiful lady.
She's still beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I'd simp. I'd buy dinner and, you get appetizer and a meal and dessert.
What is the next opponent for Tank Davis?
Oh, man. It is so Tank, the Shakur back and forth, Shakur revealed that the offer was never sent. Lomachenko, they're saying that it was a lowball offer that he got from them. So Lomachenko said no. I don't know why he didn't reach out to the other Ukrainian champion at 135. I'm not sure why that didn't happen. The backup plan was going to be Pitbull Cruz, but Rio got him up out of there. Valenzuela, he beat him at the Crawford undercard. So now they're kind of negotiating with him, but his manager Garcia is saying that he won't be ready by November. So I'm not too sure who he's going to fight. It's a good question. Me personally, I wish it'd be like somebody like Jose Zepeda, who's number 1 in kind of all the belts. I think he's number 1 in the WBA with the belt that Tank has. And Zepeda, but I think they're trying to get Zepeda versus Shakur. So they got Zepeda going against Tevin Farmer on another undercard. So Tank's in a tough spot. He said that he wants to get all the belts after this fight, but there's no fighter out there for him to fight. I just no one of name, and that's not new for him because he sometimes doesn't fight people of name. But I think Tank is I'll be shocked if he fights Jose. It's Jose Venezuela, I believe so. El Rayo. If he fights him at a catch weight, a little above 140, I could see that maybe, but I don't know. I really don't know because they had that date of November 2nd, I believe, or somewhere in early November that they want him to fight. So Tank's in a tough spot right now.
Okay. Awesome.
And
finally,
breaking.
Good.
And breaking news: Shakur Stevens is off the BetBF fan. He emergency hand surgery, so he's not fighting Joe Cordero. That just happened about like 2 hours ago. They just broke that news. He's having emergency hand surgery, and I believe when we spoke with Skywalker in '86 and all of them, I kind of said something. His hand was, I forgot what round it was, but he kind of held back using that hand. I think it was left. I think it's his right hand. But emergency hand surgery. I'm kind of pissed he's not on there. Yeah, I don't know if I covered that earlier, but I'll say it again. Why not? But yeah.
Yeah, you did say that earlier. I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to.
Yeah, it's
let you roll with it.
I don't know.
It's all good. So this is the last question. It comes from me, obviously, as always. So, Professor, question for Clubber D. Obviously, you have said and have been very, outspoken about the impact that Turki Alashikh has had in the boxing world. You even had a session with the boys from 86 Boxing, Skywalker Boxing. Y'all go check it out, YouTube at Ball and Buds. I just posted the video today where the boys have a 20-minute roundtable on the impact that Turki Alashikh has had so far. So for those of you that don't know, a little bit of quick background before we get to Clubber D. Turki Alashikh came into the public eye in 2023, and through his immense power, through the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Public Investment Fund and the amounts of money that they have and all of that stuff, he was able to start bringing in events, boxing, wrestling, MMA, all kinds of things. But his influence, obviously, is biggest in boxing, which is the sport that he loves the most and is the one that he wants to bring all the good fights, all the good pay-per-views, lower the prices of pay-per-views as we talked about, bring fights not only to Riyadh, but also to bring up Las Vegas. All of these things he's doing, the most importantly, I think, to us as fans and as people that, come on and talk about the sport, is to have the best fight the best, because that's really what we want to see. And he's bringing that back. He's bringing back at least an effort to make things better in the sport of boxing that has been languishing now for so long. So my friend, everybody go check out that video on the roundtable that they had, but tell everybody, what are your thoughts on Turki Alashikh? And I know you talked a little bit earlier about with the lowering of the prices of pay-per-view, so you don't have to get into that. But overall, in the short period of time that he's been around, how much impact has he had, and what amount of impact can he have in the end after all is said and done?
Well, it's kind of like the Arthur Blank of boxing, where Arthur Blank lowered the prices of concession stands in Atlanta for the Falcons games. You know what I'm saying? Beer,
right.
Hot dogs, or like Sam's Club and Costco prices. You know what I'm saying? Like you go to some places, you're paying like what, $12 for a beer. I think it's what, $3 in Atlanta or something like that, or it's kind of cheap. So that's what he's trying to do, because he's trying to. Boxing is lower. It's not what it used to be. Okay. I used to watch Tuesday night fights on USA. I used to watch Friday night fights on ESPN. There used to be boxing on CBS back in the day. Everybody used to get sized up for boxing on HBO. Not even pay-per-view, just regular HBO or Showtime fights back in the day. Great memories of go to my dad's house or hanging out with my dad when I was even young, and we're watching Pernell Whitaker fight, De La Hoya fight, Bernard Hopkins fight, Roy Jones fight. Now that's not the same. Okay, when you watch these upper covers, they're all on pay-per-view. You're not making a star on TV. So what Turki Alashikh is trying to do, he's trying to bring boxing back to its roots as far as making it more accessible for people. And also, he wants to get the best to fight the best and showcase that. And nowadays, boxers want to worry about their win-loss record, or worry about they're scared to take an O, basically. I think it's more so the Mayweather effect. I think I mentioned that also in theirs, where a lot of fighters are not wanting to fight each other because they'll take an L, they'll take a loss, and there's nothing wrong with taking a loss. No fighters under. I mean, you got Mayweather. He fought McGregor to be that 15-0, which shouldn't even count. But it shouldn't be bad. It's not bad if you take a loss. Okay, it's not. You're a fighter. No one's perfect. Okay, so dare to be great, get the belts, and go from there. Okay, now people just worry about the money. You got Devin Haney. People hate on Devin Haney and hate on Bud Crawford all the time. And all they want to do is be great. And regardless of what you think about them, they're in the record books as far as their accomplishments. A lot of these other fighters that are hating on them won't even come close to those. So 10 years from now, they'll still be known. These people won't. So my thing is this: I think Turkey, with lowering the prices, one of the big fighters to fight each other, and making boxing more accessible is going to be the key to get boxing back to where it needs to be. And the only problem for us Americans is that if he keeps having fights overseas, we have to adhere to their time. So the Arthur Beterbiev and Bivol fight, that's going to be during the day. That's on Saturday. A lot of us Americans are watching college football. You're out picking apples and hanging out with the wife and kids, and even taking the side chick out to Taco Bell. You could not be doing other things besides watching that fight during the day. So, but it's
and it better not be picking apples. Damn it! If you're out there picking apples on a damn Saturday, you know who you are, people. Grow a pair. Anyway.
Hey, look here. Some people be picking apples. They be doing stepping on grapes instead of making wine. So hey, shout out to them. But you know what I'm saying? We got stuff to do during the day, but they had to adhere to our time zones. But that's the only thing that might come with issues when he tries to have these big fights with Americans at certain times if it's overseas. Because I remember Francis Ngannou, even though they're not American, and Joshua, I had to watch that fight on a Friday when I just got off work. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a hassle, but I think people will adapt. I think that's why he had his first fight in America with Terrence Crawford. There's gonna be more to come. So I feel like he's gonna change the game in boxing. Only one that's PBC even has had their fighters fight with him. So I think he's gonna bring boxing back to where it is. Picture somebody from overseas bringing balance into the force as a Star Wars reference, but it is what it is. We need somebody to do that.
I mean, that's an understatement. We have needed someone to bring back the mystique, the aura, just the prestige that boxing has been missing for so long, because of the politics and because of the infighting, and because of the wanting to keep your O's and wanting to make that money and wanting to, this and that, and, stay on your side of the street and all this other stuff. I mean, whether you like the Saudi Arabians' involvement or not, and whether or not you may agree with the things that happen in their country, he himself and what he has done for boxing is nothing short of a huge blessing for the boxing community and boxing fans themselves. You agree?
Agreed. It's one of those things where people got to get over their prejudice as far as like seeing people that don't look like them promoting the sport. Boxing didn't start in America, so they need to calm that down. So I think boxing's on the up and up, and like with Top Rank, learning how to. Sorry, Top Rank never had a great job at promoting, African American fighters. Now I think they're starting to turn the corner a little bit. You got Keyshawn Davis, Olympic silver medalist, fighting at his home in 757. Coming up in November. And that's gonna be a big crowd there. Bob Arum did his best, but he could have better promoting. But Crawford, Amazon is even stepping up their game a little bit with Canelo. I'm starting to. I go on Amazon right now, and I see an ad for the Canelo Alvarez fight. I'm like, oh, you guys should have done something to take Davis fight, but they're starting to figure it out. But they're only providing the platform to have the fight on for pay-per-view, but they're not really paying the fighter. So it's all about promotion with boxing. UFC is winning right now, mixed martial arts. And shout out to them. I'm a big mixed martial arts fan, but I started with boxing, and my love will always be with boxing. But UFC has figured out how to do the marketing. It's a bit of UFC fatigue right now, having all these damn fight nights every other week, but they're still, put in good numbers. And boxing will get there eventually, but it just has to reset itself, just like everything else in life. It resets, flattens out, and moves up. That's what it has to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything you said was spot on. Hopefully we can see in the future the evolvement of the sport for just obviously the betterment of it all and the betterment of the fights and the fans and everybody involved. So from Ball and Bud, shout out Turki Alashikh. We love you over here. Hey, if you ever need us to come, commentate on a fight or come out there and do some promotion for,
fly me out.
We'll be there. We will be there in a heartbeat.
5,000.